Just jump into it.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. No, I screwed it up already. We're supposed to be listening.
We'll see you next time.
Oh, no.
Thanks for watching.
I'll play myself out.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone, to Star Wars Total Rewatch. We are the Ewoks of the airwaves, coming live to you on this podcast today.
Live from Endor.
Live from Endor.
That's right. I'm Cody.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm some other guy.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares who I am?
Yeah, because if you don't know, if you're like just listening to people, it's kind of really hard to tell who's who.
And they know who. When you hear this voice, this is my voice.
When you hear this sound, bah, turn the page. Go to the next episode.
The next episode of Ewoks.
When you hear the sound of an episode of Ewoks starting, it's time to skip to the next episode.
When you hear the sound of the call of a spotted jugaloo, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Hey.
Then run for it.
Yeah, run for your life.
Okay.
We're watching the Ewoks 1985 animated TV series. Still going on that, and we're up to episode 10, Wicket's Wagon. Doesn't that sound like fun? This is from November 9th of 1985.
If you're a Dulak and you hear the war drums of an Ewok battle wagon, you're dead.
Yep. There's
all
no
over.
escape.
And if you're a wagon, welcome.
We've got just the episode for you.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Today's show is all about wagons. Wagons.
Wagon.
Actually, it's a battering ram.
Wagon full of pancakes.
It's a battle wagon. I saw like the thumbnail for this video on YouTube, and it looked awful, but it was actually a pretty epic wagon. I think in the thumbnail it showed this little wagon. Wicket was like riding this wagon with a donkey animal pulling it. And I was like,
He was getting...
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the episode about Wicket and his little wagon. Wow.
But he was carrying supplies for his cool wagon.
He was bringing supplies to rebuild his epic battle wagon.
Who calls it a battle wagon?
No, that's
is
the
that
thing.
A thing?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I think of battle wagon, I think of like the Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth 2, I think. Like a dwarf battle wagon. That was legit.
So like more of a like medieval warfare kind of thing.
I always think dwarves for some reason.
Well, Ewoks are kind of like dwarves.
It's also
Yeah.
a thing in Warhammer as well, 40k.
Oh, okay.
The orcs have their battle wagons.
So I could just do a summary.
Okay.
They stumble upon the ruins of an ancient battle wagon that was built by the Ewoks, apparently built by the great grandfather of Wicket.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to repair it. But there's this story that's told of how this wagon defeated the Dulaks one time in this great war. And the Dulaks find out that Wicket is rebuilding the wagon and they're scared. But then they also see it as an opportunity to steal the wagon and knock down the Ewoks' soul trees, which is like the greatest affront to the Ewoks.
Yeah. Once you destroy an Ewok soul tree, they lose the will to live.
That's right, yeah. But they stop them, of course. Actually, a pretty exciting episode. Even though the Dulaks are kind of idiots all the time.
Yeah, quite the extended action sequence.
Yeah.
In this one.
It was good. I liked it.
Oh yeah, Cody? Early vote?
It's early on in the episode, but I'm gonna have to give it a
Wow. I'll
All
reserve
right.
my rating for the end, even though I kind of already said it was good. I'll give you a little hint.
Oh.
It could go either way. Suspense.
Is there a Y or is there an N? Stay tuned to find out more.
But
Thrilling conclusion.
I think I'd asked in the Battle for Endor movie, like, where did these Ewoks learn how to fight like this? Like
Mm.
they're pretty savage little beasts. And then here is a freaking battle wagon this guy built. Like, man, what kind of bloody history do they have on Endor?
Well, they're always fighting these Dulocs.
Yeah,
They,
crazy.
they give that big like prologue, not a prologue, but it's like flashback to the epic battles of the
Mm.
past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wicket's out with his brothers, like collecting these berries, but it starts to rain, so they look for shelter, and that's where they find the battle wagon. But there's this old lady, old Ewok woman. Do we
I
have
thought she was like the Ewok priestess from the movie. She's the like what is she? The story legend.
Mistress Kink?
She's like the legend keeper.
She, after she tells the story, she kind of walks out of the wagon and is never seen again. And as she leaves, she says, "I'm the legend keeper. I have to tell you this because I'll
Yeah.
never be seen again, and you don't know who I am."
That's right.
No, that's her.
Oh,
She's the
she
one
was in the
from
movie.
the movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
the one who hypnotized the spider
Oh, it's in
and
that
gave him
movie.
some. Yeah, that movie.
The
Gave
good
him some
Ewok
magic
movie.
things. Yeah.
Also, I found an amazing image for you guys. That's
Wow.
right. This is a real life photograph of Wicket and the crew using the battle wagon against the Empire.
Real life photograph? Was that in
Yep.
Return of the Jedi somewhere?
No, it's not real.
No.
It's not
This
real.
is something people
I don't know who
Photoshop.
made it, but it's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll put a link to this in the show notes.
The cartoons had picture books that went along with them. This is the
Hmm.
box art for a model for like the RPG or
Source:
something.
Kenner's Star Wars toy line.
So there was a real toy you could buy.
Oh man, if there's a battle wagon toy,
There is, yeah.
That's pretty cool. So it's kind of just it has a battering ram in the front.
it's got a giant bantha skull up top on the second.
Is it a bantha skull?
According to the Wikipedia, but
Banthas get
What's that doing
around.
on Endor?
We've seen them everywhere. We saw
They're
the
like-
bantha graveyard on Rune.
Mhm.
Now we've got banthas on Endor. We've got banthas on Kashyyyk as food.
They're like the space cow, you know. They're super resilient. They can live pretty much anywhere, and they're tasty. So
Yeah. All right.
They are
it's
tasty.
popular. You know what else gets around are the blargs, the blurgs.
Blarg.
They
They
play a
do get
pivotal
around.
role in the Mandalorian.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of which, as far as our recording timeline, like the day that we are living in now, The Mandalorian was just released.
Yeah. There are
Yep.
blurgs in it, and they call them blurgs.
Oh, they do, and they say it so many times. It's
Yeah.
great. I loved it every single
You're gonna
time. They're just
enjoy
so
that.
nonchalant. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
the blurg."
I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but that makes me excited already.
Yeah.
I want to see those blurgs.
He literally says to the effect of a 3-day ride on blurg.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we made a
Isn't
joke
that what
about
we
that.
said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's 3 days
hilarious.
journey by blurg.
Yeah.
Maybe the writers are listening to our show.
Oh, I
That's-
hope not.
If so, thanks for listening.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll have some other great ideas for you.
Next episode on The Mandalorian, they're going to ride a war wagon.
Yes. You know what would be fun? To see Ewoks off-world,
Yeah, I guess.
Mm.
like a fish out of water comedy.
A comedy?
Trying to ride the bus on Coruscant.
Oh,
Gosh.
That's what I want to see.
All right, let's get back to it.
all right. Back to the actual episode. Poor Wicket just loves this battle wagon, but everybody else just thinks it's a joke.
His brothers laugh at him. His friends come to help out, and they end up just messing around and leaving. They're like, "Good luck." Oh, and then Wicket actually says he has the plans. The legend keeper gave him the actual old plans that his great grandfather used to build it,
Which is actually pretty legit.
but he has no one to help him.
Except
Except
for
for-
Milani, who's totally in
Aw.
love with him.
Tebow's little sister, who has a major crush on Wicket, is gonna help him rebuild the wagon, and they totally do.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he says they were working on it for
Weeks.
weeks.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You actually get to see them. They're like carrying or using ropes to try to lift it up, with all the giant logs up and
Yeah, I kind of
putting
don't
all the.
believe that these two little Ewoks are able to
Hey, they had the ox
rebuild.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had the help of their whatever it is, Baga.
Baga, he actually has a name. He's a
Yeah.
Boardok. Apparently, he was the pet of Princess Nisa. They just
Hmm.
borrowed him for the job.
I didn't make the connection. I thought it was just like
Wild animal. They just named.
they refer to it as a character when they're asking Wicket who helped you build it. He says, "Well, it was just Milani and Baga and me."
Baga was previously in The Cries of the Trees. I think that was the first episode.
Yeah, that's where Tebow
And
did a magic to him.
he is in many more.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Baga, best character.
Yeah, his hard work doesn't go unnoticed though, because the Dulocks are creeping in the shadows.
Gosh.
Yeah,
The
they walk
Dulaks
away.
are so dumb. I
They
just don't
really
care.
are.
Their scene takes like 3 minutes or more, and it just goes on and on. Come on, like,
And they're just screeching at each other and
yeah,
falling on things. This is like all the comic relief that they had a serious Ewok story, so they're like, okay, let's put all of this
Gotta keep the little kids'
yeah.
attention.
comic, what do you call it? Slapstick energy goes to the Dula.
I can summarize it in one sentence. The chief tells the shaman to find the battle wagon.
But why
Moving
just
on.
tell him when you can trip over things and
Oh
throw a
my
bucket of water
goodness.
around and get
Terrible,
yelled at by Mrs. Chief?
right? She's got the
Oh my
worst
goodness.
voice.
Oh
It's
my
like
goodness.
this nagging wife from a old sitcom,
Yeah,
90s sitcom.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
I am curious. This is like the only thing worth talking about is the shaman's uncle apparently is like some old Dulak that's in hiding in this big mud house.
Yeah.
Who apparently
Murgoob.
Yep.
Merc
Also known as Murgoob the Granky.
the Grank
No,
with a
Cranky.
G,
No, with a C.
the Granky, the Cranky. Yeah, he apparently lived through the time when the battle wagon was constructed and defeated the Dulaks. But
Yeah.
the way he talks to them is he's like yelling to them. They're standing outside of his house, and whenever he yells, smoke clouds come out of like the windows and chimneys of his mud pile house. and
It's
that,
really strange.
and they make symbols like exclamation points and question marks.
We Dulocks were all set to take over the forest when they brought out that cursed wagon and knocked us clear back into the swamps.
It's actually like funny. It made me think of like the Phantom Toll Booth kind of ideas.
Oh my goodness. Phantom Tollbooth. That was the weirdest movie.
It's great. It's classic.
I don't remember when I saw it. I saw it one time on, when they show old TV episodes late night or something.
Man, it's got to be kind of hard to find, but everybody should seek it out and watch it.
It was made by some of the Looney Tunes team, like Chuck Jones and Mel Blanc, I think, in some voices. So it has that kind of a feel to it, this sequence. I don't know, his voice just sounds kind of like Mel Blanc to me.
Sure.
And he's got, all this smoke is just popping out of everything and just goofy. And he never comes out of this place, apparently. No one's ever seen him. He just lives in this, like, little hut.
For 600 seasons, however long that is.
Apparently Dulocks live pretty long.
I don't know. So do Ewoks, I guess.
Well, the Dulocks, however, are successful. They do steal the battle wagon just after Wicket completes it. It's pretty sad. Wicket's entire life work just gone.
And the Dulocks seem incapable of doing anything for themselves. They could build a wagon. It's a cool wagon, but it's not impossible to build. It wouldn't take long if
Two Ewoks and the ox can do it in a couple weeks.
Tiny
Yeah.
little Ewoks, little
But
baby Ewoks.
they're watching them build it, and they're like, "Oh, should we go and kill the Ewoks and take it?" And the king says, "No, let's let them finish working on it first, because like we don't know what to do with it, how to fix it, anything."
Wicket runs back to the village to warn everybody. He starts hitting on this gong. And what is that they yell? Dangar?
Dangar.
Dangar Ewoks. Duloc stole the battle wagon that he repaired.
Nobody
But
cares.
the chief says, don't worry about it. The Dulocs won't be able to figure out how to use it. And he's pretty much right.
Wasn't there a bounty hunter named Dengar?
Yeah, there was. He's got the giant turban.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
God, I just think of Robot
I know,
Chicken.
so do I. Everybody thought they'd laugh at me when I chose a toilet as my spaceship.
Wow. That is what they say, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dengar.
In reference to the bounty hunter.
It's probably another right, and there he is. He's hiding behind a tree. You called? I mean, it's probably just another case of a word that was reappropriated, repurposed later on.
I think in Ewok language, it's kind of just a respelling of danger. That's how I see it.
Dengar.
Right. They say it as like a battle cry too, so I don't know.
Yeah, a call to arms.
Right. But yeah, here the Dulocs, they don't know how to do anything. They're getting all hyped up. They're gonna go attack the Ewoks, and they just push the battle wagon into the lake.
Yep.
They push it in the
Gosh.
lake several times in this episode. I don't know how they
Right.
keep getting it out. So Ewok is not his name. Wicket is moping around because things aren't going his way. And he goes to find his great-grandfather's soul tree. And his great-grandfather's spirit? Ghost?
Force
Ghost.
Yeah.
Definitely a Force Ghost.
So it's kind of new agey here. You got wind blowing
No,
around.
it's the Force.
The Force. Well, I don't know. Or it made me think of like the tree in Pocahontas.
Oh, yeah. I thought this part was great, too, though.
Well, we haven't seen, like, they talk about their soul trees, and also how they're able to, like, speak through the trees and stuff.
Right.
The trees speak to them. So we haven't actually seen, like, if that makes any practical, like, sense.
Does that actually happen? And apparently
Yeah.
it does.
It does. The spirit of his grandfather just pops out of his tree and starts talking to Wicket. I don't know if this is something that happens often. It doesn't seem like it. Wicket's never seen it before.
Nobody else sees this guy.
Yeah,
Shows-
and then
he
later
shows up at the end.
everybody else is there, but only Wicket can see him, which is very interesting. But that's also kind of the way that the Force ghosts work, you know?
Yeah.
Where only Luke can see Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Except he's like tied to this tree somehow.
Yeah.
They're kind of developing this Ewok mythology as they go along, like how their magic works. How are they
Yep.
tied to the forest?
Yeah. No, there's actually like hard rules that they follow for the most part, I think.
Well, they're getting there. They're making them, I think, as they go, but they're getting some
Yeah.
rules developed.
But they are there, which I think is interesting. He's just got some words of encouragement.
Says they laughed at me too, but you shouldn't give up.
Right, when you've put your mind to it. There you go.
Point is, you shouldn't quit once you put your mind to something. You're right, great-grandfather. I can't quit now.
Good
You
advice.
shouldn't quit
That's the moral of this episode.
once you put your mind to something. That is good advice. That's a good lesson for the episode.
Persevere.
So Wicket's determined he's going to get his battle wagon back. So he sneaks to the Duloc swamp. He overhears the shaman talking to his uncle Murgoob. And he hears that Murgoob hasn't left the house in 600 years. So Wicket decides he's going to disguise himself as a Duloc, pretend to be this Murgoob.
Well, he figures nobody knows what this guy looks like,
Exactly.
so if I just put some seaweed on my head and say that I'm him,
He jumps
who's
in
gonna know?
the swamp. He comes out all green and covered in seaweed.
Yeah.
Looks just like a Duloc.
It's a pretty good plan, actually.
What's
funny.
funny, later in the episode is you see Murgoob, and he actually looks like that.
Yeah, pretty close.
So, good guess, Wicket.
Wicket just a little bit shorter.
He comes out and he's telling the Dulocs that they should test out the battle wagon. So he lines them up and sends them off back into the lake.
Yep, just gadoosh. Right into the
For
water
the second
again.
time. But then the real Mergoob shows his face, and they capture Wicket, unfortunately. He didn't set his mind to it, I guess.
The lesson isn't that you will succeed if you put your mind to something.
Yeah.
So the Dulocs take the wagon and they go on a giant warpath. They're going to go smash down all the Ewok trees. But along the way, they smash a picnic.
Is it Nisa and Latara are there with some of the little baby walklings having a nice picnic? And the Dulocs crash the battle wagon through their picnic. Oh my goodness. Oh, the humanity.
What? Oh, the Ewokity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Nisa and the little walklings go and warn the tribe. So they set up defenses, which is just a pile of logs and rocks around their soul trees. And they're like, "We'll fight to the last Ewok. We'll never give in." And then they smash through the defenses, and they
the
all just
chief
run.
says, "Well, that won't take very long." Yuck, yuck, yuck. And they smash through the barricade. And he's like, "Look at them all running around." They've got their rolling death machine here.
Yeah, ain't no one gonna get near that.
No, you can't stop that. They're like throwing spears and stuff. I feel like the Dulocs might be stupid, but they're
deadly.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're still dangerous.
Oh
It's
yeah.
probably more dangerous that they are so stupid.
Milani comes in, happens to be passing by, and sees that Wicket is captured, and she's like, "They can't do that to my Wicket." Goes
Right.
after him.
Riding on Baga, the noble steed. No, she actually manages to catch up with the wagon and jump onto it like it's in a Western,
Yeah, so
jumping onto a train.
Milani is crazy,
She's quite the hero.
and she looks like she's just having the time of her life doing this stuff too.
Yeah.
Like she just jumps up on here, and Wicket's like, "Milani, don't do this. This is super dangerous." And she's like, "No, this is awesome." She just looks
And then-
very happy. And then the Dulocs show up, and she's like, got her fists up, ready
Yeah,
to fight.
she's
Yeah.
like, bring it on. Wicket's like, what is wrong with you?
He's like, no. Here's a better plan. Push this lever, and then they like push I don't know what it is. They push a lever that like moves the sides of the wagon and knocks a bunch of Dulocs off.
Well, Wicket knows how to actually operate the thing. He's got all this mechanics.
He had the manual.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did have the manual. But he's able to just knock a bunch of Dulocs off of the wagon. Uses the battering ram function to knock old Mergoob off.
So I'm not really clear on the proportions of this wagon. Doesn't seem like it should be this big, but somehow they are like.
They have a ton of people on there.
She's able to sneak in, and he's able to like communicate with her as she rides up alongside the thing, and then she gets
Right.
in, and suddenly they turn around, and there's a whole wagon full of Dulocs looking at
Sneak
them.
on, break him out of the cage.
Right.
And nobody notices.
And more characters keep showing up who are apparently already there somehow. Like, I don't know where these people are hiding.
No, you're right. We even see like an outside shot, and there's like nobody on top of this thing. Who knows?
It doesn't matter.
Like, here's a shot of the wagon going by. There are 0 Dulocs anywhere on it.
And also, how far away are these soul trees? Because they are just
Yeah.
motoring on this thing for a good
A
5
long
minutes.
time, I know. Who's driving?
Again, doesn't matter. It's just allows an action scene to take place.
But then the chief is like fighting them, and Wicket says, "Stay back, or I'll pull out this single peg."
And he's like,
This
no,
one peg
no.
is
Wait, what?
supporting the entire thing.
Wait, what does that actually do?
What's the big deal?
One more step and I'll pull this peg.
No, not that! Wait a minute.
It's like, oh, you're bluffing.
I thought he was bluffing because it
Yeah.
sounds made up. No. If I pull this peg, the whole thing's
thing
gonna
will
fall apart.
collapse.
But it does.
It does, yeah. Well, and I liked the chief says, "I overheard you, and
You
you
put so
care
much work
too.
into
Yeah,
this thing."
you put so much into work into this. You would never pull that peg to destroy it." Wicket's like, "Maybe I would," and it's like, to keep it out of your hands, it's worth it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's too powerful for any side to have.
Yeah.
It's like the Trigon.
Oh, I also forgot twice the chief shouts as they're plowing through the barricade, "Ramming speed!"
There's no control.
Ramming speed!
But what is that from? Ramming speed. Isn't that
I
in
don't know.
something?
It's in a lot of things.
Where have I heard that before, though?
I don't know. It sounds like it could be from something, but
Ben-Hur.
That's what came up first from Ben-Hur.
okay,
Is
maybe.
it a reference
Is it a reference to...
to Ben-Hur? I don't know.
Ramming speed!
This cartoon is more sophisticated than people realize.
Yeah, next thing you know, we'll be quoting Shakespeare.
There's a lot of different YouTube clips of people yelling "ramming speed." Good stuff.
People like to drive at ramming speed. What?
Ramming speed, Ben-Hur. They're rowing the boat, all the slaves. Wow. Anyway,
But yeah, so he pulls the peg and the whole thing just falls apart. Spectacularly.
Wicket and
Milani.
Milani leap off of the wagon before it crumbles onto Baga, who's still following. Pretty impressive. It definitely looks like an old Western kind of train heist.
Mhm.
Thought that was fun.
Great train robbery.
And then the wagon is barreling toward the soul tree of their Wicket's great
Oh, yeah.
grandfather, and he's out there, his spirit standing in front of his tree, like, "Holy crap, I'm gonna die!"
Even though he's already dead.
But then the wagon crumbles like right at the foot of the tree, and he's like, "Ooh, that was a close call."
Sigh of relief.
His tree is saved. Can continue on being a ghost.
Hmm.
And then the ending is all the other Ewoks rebuilt the wagon and surprise Wicket.
Aw.
Seems
It's
very
now
foolish.
a monument.
It's like, why would
Right,
you do that?
yeah,
Because now the
it's like-
Dulocs can just come and steal that one.
It's on some kind of pedestal. I wonder if it's like permanently
Maybe.
built into this pedestal. Because yeah, nobody should use this wagon ever again.
Way too powerful.
I was also noticing, like, at the end of this episode, man, Wicket and Milani, I think, because wasn't the princess
Yeah, Nisa and
Nisa
Wicket were
all
the couple.
about Wicket and Nisa? I don't know.
Oh man, gonna be quite the love
Milani
triangle.
sure came to the rescue here.
She stuck with him building the wagon. What was Nisa doing? Who knows?
That's what I'm all about, this love triangle. Let's see where that progresses.
Oh boy.
Possibly reading into things a little bit.
It's the Ewok daytime drama.
So one thing I was reading was apparently they had a list when they were recording the voice actors. All the voice actors had like a list of Ewok phrases that they would mix in randomly when they were talking to add that Ewok spice to things, I guess.
Yeah.
Ewok spice.
But yeah, so what were your guys's? I mean, obviously mine
yeah.
was still a yub.
Sure.
Doesn't sound very.
I'll give it a yub. I liked most of it. Some of the Duloc stuff was a little
No, I
drawn out.
know. It was a good adventure. And they actually developed Wicket's character more. I feel like he's kind of just been a dumb Ewok most of the show.
Well, I suppose I'll also say, if you're listening to this and you haven't already, go watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing listening to this? If they finally made a good Star Wars show, go watch that right
A lot of
now.
people would disagree with the Clone Wars and Rebels.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
A good
so,
live action Star Wars. Oh, wait, the only live
Recently,
action.
yeah.
Also, one thing that I will tease for you, Aaron, they do mention Life Day.
What?
I
Oh my
actually
goodness,
do.
so many wonderful things are making their way into the Star
Just
Wars.
go
again.
and
Got
watch
it.
it already so we can
Make
just
Star Wars
talk
great
about
again.
it.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this in the future, just scroll up to the top of the list and you'll find The Mandalorian right up there.
Maybe. It might be a little while.
All right.
All right. Thanks for watching, listening. Ah, I did it again.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're watching. You could be staring at your phone.
True.
But nothing's gonna happen, you guys. Just the same pictures, so don't hold your breath.
But we will post the link to the beautiful War Wagon pictures that we talked about.
Yeah.
And next time you can tune in here to hear about the 3 lessons.
Yeah, the next episode.
If one of the lessons is don't be like Tiggy, I'm going to be upset. Because that definitely needs to be a lesson. And freedom is everyone's fight.
You've already got the important ones down.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye.